present to you the biography of the life of Edelmira Thompson de Mendeluci. She was born in Buenos Aires in 1894 and she passed in Buenos Aires in 1894. At 15, Edelmira Thompson published her first book, To Daddy, which earned her a modest place in the vast gallery of lady poets active in Buenos Aires high society, and from then on she was a regular presence in the salons of Zima San Diego and Susana Lescano Lafunu, dictators of taste in poetry and of taste in general, on both banks of the Rio de la Plata at the dawn of the 20th century. Her first poems, as one might reasonably have guessed, were concerned with filial piety, religious meditation, and gardens. She flirted with the idea of taking the veil. She learned to ride. In 1917, she met the rancher and entrepreneur Sebastian Mendeluci, 20 years her senior. Everyone was surprised when they announced their engagement after only a few months. According to people who knew him at the time, Mendeluci thought little of literature in general and poetry in particular, but had no artistic sensibility, although he did occasionally go to the opera, and his conversation was on par with that of his farmhands and factory workers. He was tall and energetic, but not handsome by any means. There was, however, no disputing his inexhaustible wealth. Edelmira Thompson's friend considered it a marriage of convenience, but in fact, she married for love. A love that neither she nor Mendeluci was ever able to explain, and which endured all the days of her life. Marriage, which ends the careers of so many promising women writers, quickened the pen of Edelmira Thompson. She established a salon in Buenos Aires to rival those of the redoubtable Zimina San Diego and Susana Lacazano Lafinu. She took young Argentinian painters under her wings, not only buying their work. In 1950, her collection of paintings and sculptures was, if not the best in the Republic, certainly one of the largest and most extravagant, but also inviting them to paint at her ranch in Azul, far from the maddening crowd, all expenses paid. She founded a publishing house, The Lamp of the South, which brought out more than 50 books of poetry, many of which were dedicated to Edelmira herself, the fairy godmother of Argentinian letters. The fairy godmother of Argentinian letters. In 1921, she published her first book of prose, All My Life, an idyllic and rather flat autobiography, devoid of gossip, full of landscapes, and poetic meditations. Contrary to the author's expectations, it disappeared from the bookshop windows in Buenos Aires without leaving so much as a tipple, without leaving so much as a ripple. A ripple, a ripple, ripple, ripple.